Hey guys, it's this time of the year again. I'm here with my A-level results. That's so weird to say. I mean, it hasn't sank in. I've had my results for over a week now. It's Saturday the 27th of August. I got my results on Thursday the 18th. This is also a different set out to my other two results videos, my GCSE one and my AS one. I didn't vlog beforehand. I didn't vlog when I got my results, which weirdly I didn't do for the other two, even though I said I would. I actually predicted my grades in a book. No, I haven't written a book. That came out weird. I just wrote down what I thought I'd get. Didn't feel comfortable videoing in case I didn't get what I wanted, because I didn't really feel comfortable putting that out there, especially when there's a lot of people hoping that I didn't do well. I know that's quite bad, isn't it? But that's true. So I didn't want to give them the satisfaction, because I know they watch my YouTube videos. But now that I know that it's actually a happy time and I did well and I can be proud, even though I'm not necessarily proud at the moment because it hasn't settled in, I still feel like I've got something more that I need to do before I go to university. But I don't. I guess I should start by saying I have got into university and I have got into the course I wanted to do. I did only apply for one course and I did only apply to one university. There was a very big responsibility for me when I took my exams this year, because it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do was primary teaching. I'm still in touch with my primary school and my primary school teachers, and even they say that they remember me wanting to be a primary school teacher all those years later. I did the whole apply to university for a UCAS. I did my interview in February, I think it was. My interview went amazingly. I've never felt so good about something that I've just done in my life. I've never been so happy with how I came across to people, and within 2 hours I'd got an email to say that I'd got an offer. My offer was quite strange, but I'll explain that later. I'm happy with this year's results and how it's ended. Not going to say it was easy. It hasn't been easy at all. In fact, I would much rather have sat 5 years worth of GCSEs than one day of an A-level. And that's not even saying that GCSEs are easy, because they weren't, but I didn't think it could get any worse, but it did. So sixth form has taught me a lot. I'm going to start from where I finished in my AS results video. So if you haven't seen that, I suggest you go and watch it. So I'll leave it here. Just click here, go and watch it, and then come back to this video if you haven't seen it already, because if you haven't seen that, you're not going to understand what I'm going to say now, and you're not going to understand the reasons why. Having watched my AS results video, or whether you already know, whether you're one of my friends and you're just watching this for the lols, you know, I actually did my 1 week of trialling English literature. And I'd forgot I'd even done it, if I'm honest, because as soon as that week was over, I have never moved quick enough to drop that subject. I'm so glad I did it, because never again. Never again. Done. Over. Goodbye. In the bin. Forgotten about. English literature is a taboo word. Never say it around me. Never speak about it around me, because I do not want to know. So, having dropped English literature, I picked up sociology and philosophy and ethics, and obviously that would have been with the year 12s. I've never been around these people before. They were in the year below me in the main school. It could have been a very negative experience, but it was actually the total opposite. I made a lot of new friends and I gained a lot of trust in these new people, and they gained trust in me. From about September to Christmas, it was all okay. The teaching was fine. I was probably a bit unorganised because I was doing a lot of extracurricular events and organising a lot of things going on, both with the sixth form and with the school, so I was a bit preoccupied and probably put my A-level second to those things. In philosophy, we had 2 teachers and one of them left. She was an amazing teacher. She just moved to another local school. I was happy for her that she was moving because it was right for her, and I learnt a lot just from the 4 months that I'd had her. So I was like, okay, that's fine, we still got the other teacher. So we came back in January and we sat our January mocks, where we basically do a fake exam time, and most schools probably do it, I don't really know. And during that time, our other philosophy teacher wasn't in school, and it was a bit weird because they kind of just didn't come back. For majority of my philosophy AS, I didn't have a teacher. It was no one's fault really, it was just a situation that sometimes happens, and it just so happened that because A-level is so specific, you can't just bring any person in to teach, because you need to have that specialist knowledge. So we basically ended up teaching ourselves and trying our best and helping each other. There was a select group of us from the class who would stay after school until sometimes almost 6 o'clock at night, which when you've been at school since 8:30 is a long time, especially when you've had A-level lessons all day. But at the end of the day, I needed to focus on my A2s more so than my ASs. My sociology I found okay at times, found quite difficult, didn't really understand much of it, but my best friend Sinead, she was sitting sociology and she helped me a lot. My A2s, my critical thinking and English language were my best subjects, and I had, in my opinion, the best teacher in the school, but then I'm biased, but that's what I learned in critical thinking. So English language and critical thinking, there was ups and downs, but I worked hard for most of the time. Obviously there was times where I didn't. We did a mock a couple of days before my actual exams and I did really well, so I felt more confident. Overall in year 13 I just felt quite like I'd got it together, more so than year 12. I mean, that's not me saying that year 13 was great and it was easier than year 12, because I wouldn't say that, but I also wouldn't say that it was harder than year 12. I'd probably say it was about the same. But for me, keeping busy and pressure is how I work. So I think the lack of that in year 12 was something that pulled me down, because having a lot of free time and gaps where we can choose what we do is where I fail, because I need that pressure and motivation and confidence to be able to choose the right thing to do, and I didn't have that in year 12, and I probably didn't have that in year 13, but because I didn't have time to think about that, it was okay. So in critical thinking, my prediction was, my best case scenario was that I'd get a C, and my worst case scenario was that I'd get a D grade. The most important one for me was English. My best case scenario was a C grade. My worst case scenario was also a C grade. The way that works is UMS is what is used to work out the grades, and UMS is what the marks, the raw marks from your exams, are converted into, and the lowest UMS that I hoped I would have got would have been a C, and the highest UMS from the highest marks I would have got was also a C, and that's how that works. Philosophy, there wasn't really much to predict because we'd never really done much classwork that was marked. We'd never really got levels. At the beginning we did, but that wasn't really anything to go by. We'd only just started the course. So I predicted that in my first exam I'd get a C grade, and in my second one I'd get an E, because we hadn't had any teaching for it. So overall that would have been a D grade. And in sociology I predicted that I'd get a B grade in the first exam and a C grade in the second one, which would mean I'd get a C grade overall. So they're my predictions. First thing I did was check my emails, because if you don't know, sometimes it's likely that the university will email you before you get your results to tell you if you've got a place. So I hastily checked my emails and I had an email. So as soon as I'd got that, I was like, well, I don't really care what the results sheet says then. And there was a lot less pressure, and I felt happy to walk into school, get my results, and I wasn't really scared. And I thought, okay, well, my predictions must be quite close then. I must have got my C in English. They asked for a C grade in English and a C grade in my other A level, which would be critical thinking, and 300 UCAS points. But because I only did 2 A levels, I wouldn't have been able to get 300 UCAS points. So the main point was that I got my 2 Cs. And then when I got to results day, I got my envelope and I opened it. So in English language, there was 2 units that I sat this year. There was the coursework unit and the exam unit. And in my coursework unit, I was hoping for an A grade, and I got an A grade in my coursework, and that is the first A grade I've achieved at A level. And in my exam, I got a C grade, which means overall I got a C grade. So I was extremely happy with that result. And for the first time ever in the history of my results days, I haven't had to send off my English language exam for a remark, because I've done it for my year 10 English language GCSE, I did it for my year 11 English language GCSE, I did it last year for my AS English language. So for the 1 year it mattered the most, I didn't need to do it. In critical thinking, there was 2 exams for the A2, but I also resat one of my year 12 exams, which was the one that got taken down in the remark. When I resat it, I actually lifted the grade up to a C grade overall. I think if I hadn't have done that, I probably would have ended up with lower than what I did. And then in my 2 exams that I sat this year, my A2 exams, in one of them I got a C grade, and in the other one I got an E grade. Was a bit shocked about the E grade, but I'm too scared to even question it in case they take it down to a U. That meant overall that in my critical thinking I got a D grade, which I was happy about. I mean, I would have been happier if I'd got a C grade, but I was happy that it was only 1 grade lower. I guess if anything, that's a compliment to me because I didn't actually get what the university asked for, but they still let me in. From here it goes downhill, if I'm honest. So in my sociology, I got an E grade. And the most annoying thing is I can't see where it went wrong, why it went wrong, because of the new linear exam set out. So I was a bit disappointed, but I still passed it, so that counts as an AS. Philosophy, I got a U grade. Never thought I'd have to say that again, but I have, rightly. So I mean, I got a D in my first exam, but the one that let me down was the second one where I actually got a U. If I'd have got an E grade, I would have got an E overall, but no, it didn't happen. So yeah, we live and we learn. Who would have thought it? When you don't have a teacher for A-level, it tends to be that you don't really do as well as you thought you would. In terms of grades, I'm really pleased with my results. I'm pleased that throughout the past 2 years, the amount of stuff that has gone on and happened, that I've still managed to come out with this. I think this is a lesson to me. People have been telling me, oh yeah, you're gonna do it, you're gonna be fine, and I'm like, no. The main reason I didn't video my A-level results videos because I really was not confident, didn't think it was gonna happen, thought I was never gonna get into university, I wasn't gonna get the grades I needed, and yeah, I had really no hope, and I didn't think I was going to do it, and I did. I would probably just like to say thank you to my Western Favourite Academy. My Western Favourite Academy, I'm going to miss you so much, but I'm also not. At the same time, it's bittersweet. I'm going to miss the people inside it, but I'm also not going to miss the people inside it. Without Western Favourite Academy, I mean, a lot of things could have not happened, but also I probably would have ended up with these results because I wouldn't have had the support I did, and I wouldn't have had the people around me that I did. A lot of the negatives could have not happened if I didn't go to my school, but also I'm happy that I went to Western Favourite Academy. I'm going to miss it, but time to move on. I don't think I would have lasted another year there. So people requested an A-level results video. This is it. I guess I'm out. That's it. I'm done. So I guess this is goodbye. Thanks for watching.